EuroKitchen is Anna's kitchen, but it's your kitchen and it's everybody's kitchen. If you want to try a place where the food's finger licking, just come on in to the EuroKitchen. Anna's always cooking food that looks and smells so good. It's fine cuisine from all corners of the world, right in your neighborhood. It's Italian dinners and Portuguese fare. It's Francais food with a European flair. You can stop right there with all your channels switching and pull up a chair in the EuroKitchen. Anna's EuroKitchen.
Hi, I'm Anna Marie and welcome to my EuroKitchen. Today is a great show. We're going to make an Italian potato cake. I know that sounds crazy, but it's filled with fontina cheese and salami, and it is delicious. After that, we're going to make an Italian flatbread with pears and gorgonzola cheese and fontina cheese. It's going to be a great show, and I'm going to try to tape about a month worth of Italian shows. I've had a lot of people on my Facebook page for EuroKitchen. A wonderful woman from Windham was asking about artichokes, so I'm going to try to do a month worth of Italian shows leading up to Easter, and we'll do anisette cookies and Italian anise bread. So let me give you the ingredients for today's show. So for the Italian potato cake, and you may have never heard of it, but this is a great family recipe. It's 5 tablespoons of unsalted butter plus 1 extra for the pan. You need 5 tablespoons of breadcrumbs, nothing flavored, just the plain breadcrumbs. 3 pounds of russet potatoes, and you want to peel those and dice them. A half a cup of heavy cream, a teaspoon of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 3 large eggs, 6 ounces of fontina cheese. And you can find this anywhere in the deli. Usually it's in the cases like that. They don't have it loose that they can slice for you. Then I'm going to need a 1/4 pound of salami sliced thin, and we're going to chop it. 1/3 cup of grated Parmigiano or Reggiano cheese. You want to set your oven to 350. Once we put this together, you bake it between 35 and 40 minutes. I think that's it for everything. So I just want to get it started. So what I did was, I wanted to show you need a russet potato. So these are what the russet potatoes look like. Just want to peel them. Well, it says about 3 pounds. It's usually between 6 and 7 potatoes should do it for you, if you can figure it out that way, looking like this size. So let me put the potato aside. What I did was, I went ahead and I cooked up my potatoes, but I wanted to show you, chop them to about a 1-inch piece. That way they cook uniformly. It's only going to take about 7 minutes to cook. Drain the water. We're going to put them back in this pan. So I'm going to clear off so you can see what I'm going to do here. Let's move this stuff over. So I have the potatoes, and I'm just going to take my potato masher. This is really a great family recipe. This is so, so good. This is right from Italy, from my mom's cousin. So I'm just going to mash these potatoes, and then I'm going to add my heavy cream and my salt and pepper. I'm going to let it cool for about 5 minutes, and I'm going to add the 3 eggs one at a time. So I get this all mashed up. Okay. So I've got that all mashed now, just to a nice consistency like you were making mashed potatoes. So now what I want to do is I want to add that salt and pepper. And I'm going to get this all combined. Just stirring this around. But this is so great, like if you're taking it to somebody's house or you want to make a quick supper, this is so good when you cut into it. Because they don't know what a potato cake is, and when you cut into it, you see that wonderful line of salami and cheese. It's so good. And the salami, when you bake it, just takes on a whole new flavor. Okay, so that's the salt and pepper. Now I want to add my 1/2 cup of heavy cream. Make sure you use heavy cream. Okay, and I'm going to switch from the potato masher, and I actually want to come in with my spatula and get this all combined. So I'll put this over here. And the heavy cream is going to make this nice and rich, and then your eggs will get it all bind together. But I really wanted to concentrate the next month on a lot of Italian food. I got a lot of great response on my EuroKitchen page on Facebook. If you haven't been to it, it's just Anna Marie's EuroKitchen on Facebook. You can like me. A lot of good comments from the town of Windham. One lady wanted me to make artichokes, so we are going to do that in the next couple weeks. What's nice is I put them in the pressure cooker and I stuff them, and it makes a wonderful sauce for pasta afterwards. Okay, so I've got this combined, and now what I want to do is take my eggs. I keep my eggs at room temperature. I always break my eggs one at a time, just in case they're spoiled, there's anything wrong with them. Okay, I just want to add them in one at a time so I can get them well combined. And when you see that they're all combined, then you add your next one. But this is really an easy recipe. It's not a lot of ingredients. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it's so good. Okay, there's our second one. And you don't have to use your mixer for this. It's so easy. But the fontina cheese and the salami together is fantastic. And you'll see we're going to have a nice crust with breadcrumbs, unflavored breadcrumbs. Okay, got one more egg to go. Awesome. Get these out of the way. Add our last one in. We just want to really stir this now. Make sure we get the yolks and the white all combined. And this is going to be the bottom half of the pan, then the filling, then it's also going to be our top half. It's so funny. Last night I was looking for my springform pan. Couldn't find it anywhere. I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So I asked Mary Rose, I'm like, do you have a springform pan? She's like, yeah, come on down and get it. Okay, so just so you can see now, this is all combined. I don't see any more of the egg, the yolk, or the white. It's all combined in there. So now comes the fun part. So you know how I always tell you to save your butter wrappers, don't throw them away. I'll actually put this on the stove and get this out. I always save my little butter wrappers, and people think I'm crazy putting them in the freezer, but this is the best time to use them. So if you've never used a springform pan, this is a Teflon one. Springform pans, I'll just wipe my hands, have a latch on them. So these are great for cheesecakes, any type of cake. So you would release this. That's what's going to drop your bottom out. So you just put it in here, put your spring on, and that keeps it like that. A lot of people use these. I'll put aluminum foil around the bottom when I'm making a cheesecake, and I'll put it in a water bath. So what I'm going to do is just take my little papers that I've saved. I'm going to get this all buttered up. And I just put these in the freezers when I unwrap my butter. Now this is unsalted butter too. Take another one. I just want to make sure that this is all combined. I've got one more. Should really turn it this way so you can see it. You're just going all the way around the pan, and you want to make sure it's all buttered. Like I said, this is a Teflon one, so it won't stick, but I just want to make sure. So I have my butter all in here now. Okay, put these over here. Wipe my hands. Now, you want to use 5 tablespoons of breadcrumbs. So I'm going to put 5 in here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just put a little bit extra. Okay, so the breadcrumbs are unflavored, just like you're doing a cake pan. You just want to shake this all around. So I have my bottom coated, and I just want to go around the sides. I'm just making sure that all of this gets on and grabs onto that butter, because this is going to be my crust for the cake. It's okay if a little bit spills out. There's still plenty in here. But see what it looks like now that it's all coated? Just make sure I get the bottom, get everything in here. And it's okay if you have some left over, that's fine. So I'm going to put the extra in here. Making a little bit of a mess here, but it's okay. So this is what our final product looks like. Our pan's all coated, the bottom and the top. Now the fun part begins. So let's get this cleaned up a little bit. Just put that over there. Okay, so I'm going to take my filling, And I just want to coat the bottom of this pan. So I'll put a couple spoons of my potato mixture. So remember, this is the potatoes that we boiled and drained. We put the salt and pepper in them, and the heavy cream, and the eggs. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to form the bottom layer. So I'm just going to spread this out with my spatula just to do the bottom of the pan. You want to make sure you cover that all up. You're going to love this recipe. Okay, so this is what our bottom layer looks like. Okay, now I'm going to take my fontina cheese. I want to slice this. You need 6 ounces of fontina cheese. Put this over here. I just want to slice this. I want to do a layer of fontina cheese, and then I want to do a layer of salami. So this has been sitting out for a little bit, so it's warm and it's nice to cut. We're going to layer right over here. You just want to make sure you get the bottom of that. You cut this one a little bit more. I'm going to start to cut it this way. And what's nice is fontina is a really creamy Italian cheese, and it's so good for baking. It melts really nice. So I just want to cover that. So here's my cheese. Okay, that's my layer of cheese. Now I got my salami, just got it at the deli. You can put the imported or the domestic. I just wanted it sliced really thin, 1/4 pound of that. So what I do is I keep it together like that. Now I'm going to start to cut it. And I just want to cube it. Okay, I'm going to turn it around this way. I'm going to cut this side. Sorry, my table's a little wobbly today. Did you notice that? Sorry. I gotta tell you, I love this cutting board. When we lived on Londonderry Road in our farmhouse and we did an addition for our kitchen, this is what my counter used to be. So I saved a part of this and I've had it all these years. That's my cutting board now. So now I want to take this cheese. I want to make sure I spread it evenly all over this layer of potato and cheese. Oh, it's gonna be so good. Okay, so there's my layer of cheese and salami, and now we get to finish with this. So take our potatoes, just going to spread these over, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to melt the rest of that unsalted butter that I had in the microwave for just a few seconds, and I'm going to put the rest of the breadcrumbs in there and some more fontina cheese. And that's going to be our topping. So just make sure to get all these out. I don't want to waste any of this. Okay. Okay. Now what you do is you just spread this. This is the top layer of your cake. This is so pretty when it's done. Okay, so that's my top layer, and my oven's heated at 350 degrees. Let's get this out of the way. Okay, so right now I have a tablespoon of unsalted butter that I'm melting in the microwave. I'm going to add the rest of my breadcrumbs to it, and I'm going to add some fontina cheese. That's going to be the topping to the cake. Perfect, this is done. So here's my butter. I'm going to add a tablespoon of breadcrumbs. Okay. I always keep a little extra out just in case. Let me grab a spoon. stirring this around. Okay, so this is my topping now. This is 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter and about maybe a tablespoon of the breadcrumbs. So you just want to take that. This is going to go all over the top of this cake. Okay, just want to move this around. Okay, and now I'm going to take a little bit of my cheese and just put it on top. It's nice because that way when people look at it, they know, hey, what's going to be inside of there? There's breadcrumbs, there's cheese. So this is going to go in a 350-degree oven for about 35 to 45 minutes. It depends on your oven. You want it to be golden brown. And it's nice to serve this warm. You can serve it cold. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside because I already have one made for you. So I want to show you what it looks like. This is so beautiful. This is the finished product. It's so nice. You've got that golden brown from the breadcrumbs and the fontina cheese and the butter. It's so delicious. So I'm going to put this aside because at the end of the show we're going to cut into it. So now we're going to make an Italian flatbread. I found these so many times now being served in restaurants, all kinds of appetizers and tapas restaurants, Cheesecake Factory everywhere. You can actually buy the flatbread. Some of them are called naans. This is actually Stonefire Artesian flatbread. These make the best appetizers or a side dish like we're going to do today with the potato cake. So I'm just going to take one out. And it's nice because it's almost like a pre-baked shell, so I'm just warming it up. So this is what it looks like. It's already got the perforated holes in it. There's so much stuff you can do with this. You can make these savory, you can make them sweet. So what we're doing today is I'm going to bake this for about 6 to 7 minutes at 425 right in the oven. So I'm going to put that in now, right on the rack. I'm not putting it on anything else. I'll set my little timer. Okay. What I did last night was I took a couple tablespoons of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. I put some crushed garlic in. I just wanted to flavor my olive oil. We're using fresh arugula. I like to get them that are already boxed because they've been washed 3 times, and that's really important. I'm going to use some pears. I'm going to use some crushed walnuts, and this is totally up to you. You can use pecans, sugared pecans, cranberries. Just mix it up, whatever you want to do. Some of that cheese that I put into the potato cake. Okay, we're going to use the fontina, and this is my balsamic glaze. So what we're going to do first is I'm going to take some of those walnuts and I'm going to chop them up while that's cooking. And like I said, you can use pecans, you can use cranberries, but I just think it's so neat, like when you go to these local restaurants like Cheesecake Factory 900 Degrees, which I adore, I love that place. My kids always want to get flatbreads when they go out with me, and my youngest daughter Jordan's really starting to get into cooking. She's making all kinds of pizzas with butternut squash. If I go to the Common Man, I see that's like one of their appetizers is the butternut squash. They're so good for you, and they're actually healthy. I mean, it's when you start getting into like the sugar pecans and that it adds the calories, but these are so good. So what I did is I just have regular walnuts, and I want to tell you a little secret. Whenever I buy nuts in that, I always put them in the freezer because there's a lot of oil in this, and they will actually rot if you keep them in the cupboard. So I chop them up right now so they'll be ready for the pizza. Okay, that's perfect. And like I said, this is going to be the oil that we're going to put on. So I'm putting everything on after it comes out of the oven because then it'll melt right onto it. I don't want to put it in the oven. And that's only got like 4 more minutes, so let's open this up. What's nice about these is because it's pre-washed, these last a really long time in the refrigerator. I love arugula because it gives it that little peppery taste. Okay, so push this aside. Got my garlic olive oil. Just cut this open and take some out. I just need a little bit for the topping. So that should be plenty. And then this goes right back in my container in the refrigerator. You can use it for salads. I put it in soups. So put in this, right back in, and back in the refrigerator. Okay. I'm going to chop this up a little bit. I leave the stems on. I tell you, they're so really neat a lot of farmers places opening up. I just saw through Facebook, if you live in the Dairy area, J&F Farms, there used to be an old antique shop next to it, and now they turned it into a farmer's market, and it's opening, I think, the Saturday the 25th. And it's so cool. 3 floors of people in the area that are bringing their local food to you to be sold, I think is awesome. And I love all these farm-to-table restaurants they're having now. Okay, so there's our arugula. So put that aside. And I've got my olive oil that I'm going to brush when the bird comes out. I've got my nuts. I've got my pears. What this is balsamic vinegar glaze. So you take balsamic vinegar and you boil it down and it gets really sweet. You can also buy this in the stores. It's called glaze, but this is so good over salads. A couple years ago I did the grilled lettuce with the watermelon and the chicken, which is one of my favorites. We put this as a dressing, but this is also good on ice cream too. Okay, so clean this up a little bit. Move my other cheese. Let me just check on my bread. Oh, it's nice and toasty. What's nice about these two, say you want to have breadsticks, before you put them in the oven, slice them down lengthwise, butter them with some of this garlic olive oil. And this is so easy to make. If you don't like messing with the garlic and all the paper, you can actually buy these in a big container. And I think it's a 1/4 teaspoon is like 1 clove of garlic. These will keep forever in your refrigerator, and it's so convenient. So last night I just put it to the olive oil, and it gave it that garlic taste that I wanted to. But you can take those, slice them, put butter on it, and then put this garlic olive oil, and you've got homemade breadsticks. It's so good to go with a salad. Okay, so shake this out, because we only got like a minute left on that. It's pretty toasty, so let me shut this off. I'm going to turn off the oven. Okay, put this right here. So nice, hot, and toasty. Okay, now we're going to get this all set up. Okay, so I want to do first is, I've got my flatbread, it's nice and crispy. I'm going to take that olive oil that I made, and I'm just going to brush this. I didn't want to brush it before I put it in the oven because I wanted it to be more of like a salad dressing. Oh, this smells so good. The garlic is just, when it hits the heat, it smells so good. Okay, so we got a layer of that. And now what I'm going to do is take my pears, sorry. I just want to slice them a little bit. We're going to put these all over. And so many of your fruits and vegetables in the winter, you can buy right in the freezer section. They're actually cheaper in the winter if they're frozen. You just let them defrost. Strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, pineapple, everything. Okay, so put my pears on top. Okay, so there's our pears. Now I'm going to take some of those walnuts and I just want to drizzle them over top. You can use whatever you want. You want to use pecans, and if you want to use another nut maybe that's been sugared and you put it in the pan with sugar, you can do that. Now I'm going to take that fontina cheese. You could also use blue cheese. That's really good with this. I'm just going to put pieces of this, and this is going to start to melt just from the heat of the flatbread that I had in the oven. I'm going to put this all over. Oh, it looks so good. Okay, now I'm going to take some of my arugula. I just want to put that over top. You don't really need a lot. Oh, look how pretty that looks. Okay, now I'm going to take my balsamic glaze. So I've got the flatbread pizza, 425, about 6 to 7 minutes. You want to watch it. You can put it on a baking sheet if you want. I put it right on the rack. When it came out, I brushed it with the olive oil that I had overnight with the garlic. Then I put my arugula, put the nuts, put the cheese, and now we're going to use our balsamic glaze. Can you believe we just did this? Look how easy this is. This is going to be so good to accompany that. So we're going to get cleaned up, we're going to come back, and we're going to try everything. See you in a few minutes. Hey, we're back. I just want to thank a few people before we enjoy the food here. We do have a sponsor, Bella Viaggio. It's our salon in Wyndham. They're always rated the top salon. Janelle does my hair, and I want to thank them because they do sponsor this show for us. It's a wonderful full spa salon, pedicures, manicures, facials, spa treatments. So please look them up. Mention Anna Marie's EuroKitchen. And like I said, Janelle does my hair. She's awesome. So I want to say thank you out to them. And I really want to thank the woman that wrote to me about the artichokes on the Facebook page. That was so sweet. And I hope you keep writing. If there's something you want to see me cook, please go to my Facebook page. It's under Anna Marie's EuroKitchen. Okay, so now it's time to try this. So let's cut into our wonderful potato cake. I've been dying to eat this all morning. Oh, look at that. This is so good. So you've got the fontina cheese and the salami. You've got the butter. You have the russet potatoes. You have the salt and pepper and the heavy cream and the 3 eggs. And then you just put that in the middle. So that's our first one. Okay, now we got to do our flatbread. Look how pretty that flatbread came out. And it was so easy. It took like 6 to 7 minutes. I put this right on the grill. Then I put my arugula cheese. I put pears, walnuts. You can use candy walnuts, pecans, whatever you want to. And then I put the balsamic glaze. And this is awesome to accompany this. So we're going to cut right into this and not waste any time. Good. Aren't you just going to surprise your family when they see what you did and this was so easy? Okay, so let's cut into this. This is so good. This takes me back to my days sitting around the table with my Aunt Carmen, Uncle Freddie, and my mom and dad and a glass of wine. This kind of reminds me of the pizzagena at Easter time, the Italian pizzagena. The flavors from the cheese and the salami, you got the saltiness and the cream from the cream and the butter. It's so good. Just make sure you use unsalted butter. And now let's try our flatbread. You know what would be nice too? You could have put salami on here. I didn't want to put chicken because I didn't want to vary off from what we were doing with that potato cake. Okay, so here's our flatbread with our balsamic glaze. So good. That balsamic glaze gives it just a little bit of sweetness. So what I did was I took the olive oil and the garlic. I brushed it when it came out of the oven. Put the arugula, the pears, the walnuts, and then I put a little bit of that fontina cheese, which is melted now, and then I just drizzled the balsamic glaze. But this is an awesome, awesome meal that you can have. So our next meal is going to be homemade pasta. I'm going to teach you how to make pasta from beginning to end. You don't need a machine. I'm going to show you how to color the pasta. We're going to make orange pasta, spinach pasta, and fleck pasta with all kinds of herbs. Then I'm going to make special sauces for you. So please don't feel overwhelmed that you don't have a KitchenAid attachment. I'm going to show you how to do everything by hand. And I'm actually going to show you a little surprise that I have from Italy that I want to give you. So I hope you enjoyed today's show. And tune in next week. Bye-bye.
But it's your kitchen and it's everybody's kitchen. If you want to try a place where the food's finger licking, just come on in to the Euro Kitchen.